my Dana, for instance. She was born in the grit resilience, which is part of self-esteem, on a scale of 1 to 10. She was born a 1. Her best friend was born a 10. Catherine was her best friend. Catherine was outside one day in our 100-foot tree, swinging, going, Dana, Dana, come on up. Dana's out there going, Catherine, you're going to die. And then Dana came to me at age 5 and said, I don't want to be me. I want to be Catherine. I cry before I go to school every day. I can't climb that tree. She has such fun. I want to be Catherine. And I go, oh, sweetie, it's an amygdala problem. Poor girl. She looks at me, goes, what? I said, you have this thing in your brain called an amygdala, and it has feelings. And I simplified it dramatically, but this is also true. You have a left and a right side to the amygdala. The left side, the red rubber band, feels fear. The right side, the blue, feels courage. I said, Catherine was born with this. Look at me. A big blue rubber band and a small red one. You were born with the opposite, a big red one and a small blue one. She goes, so I just need a big blue rubber band. I said, yes. She goes, where do we buy it? I said, oh, honey. She goes, do I eat something? I said, you know how you hate to go swimming? She goes, no. I go, yes. You know how you don't want to raise your hand or talk in class? She goes, no. I go, yes. You know how when Catherine invites you over every Friday night to stay at her house, you cry and say you can't? She goes, no. I go, yes. So I think she's 5. I'll have to talk to her a long time about this. Friday comes. Every Friday for the last year, Catherine calls to invite her to stay overnight. The phone rings. I don't even answer it anymore. Just give it to her. I hear this. Hello? Okay. Yes. Bye. She gets off the phone. I say, was that Catherine? She goes, yes. I said, did she ask you to stay overnight? She goes, yes. I said, did you say yes? She goes, yes. And then she pulled out the blue rubber band, which she now keeps in her pocket. And she says, with tears coming down her face, I have to. She goes upstairs. She packs her little suitcase that has never been used. She comes down the steps, and now the snot is coming and the red face and everything. She walks out the front door. She walks across the front yard because Catherine lives next door. And I'm dying inside. Everything inside of me is hurting for her. And I want to say you don't have to, but I know she does. And that's the hard part, isn't it? Isn't it? So I let her go. I go home and fill a glass, not with milk, and I go to bed because I can't stand it. The phone rings at midnight. I can't make it. Can you come and get me? Enough. It's a hard word. It was enough. I went to get her. I brought her back. She pulls it out. She goes, did I break it? I go, oh, baby, you stayed 4 hours. Look what happened. The next Friday, she timed it, 4 hours and 5 minutes. Took a year, but she made it the whole night. Confidence. She's a different person. I don't even know where in the world she is now. She is traveling the world doing wonderful things. Traveling the world when she couldn't go next door. Her blue rubber band is a thing of beauty. I have to tell you, though, her red rubber band is still as big. She's very sensitive. Taking risks still bothers her, but now she has a muscle here that helps counter that. Do you hear what I'm saying? You will never get over the sensitivity or the ick of taking risks and putting yourself in danger, nor should you. But you develop that other muscle, and then you keep putting one foot in front of the other. Isn't that what you want for every girl? Girl Scouts. The second ingredient of self-esteem is competence. Quick story about me. When I was 5, my family went to a fishing camp. We learned early on this year that the fish would bite only on frogs, not worms, not lures. So frogs became valuable. We kids would collect them, sell them at the dock for 5 cents a piece. In 1953, yeah, that was like $50. I was getting rich. And then we learned on the third day that greenies, that's why you have green frogs. Please don't let them stay there. Decide who gets them on your table. We found that greenies were catching the biggest fish, and they became worth $0.25 apiece. Well, that's like $100 now. But the greenies were fast and had great peripheral vision, and I'm a 5-year-old girl, and I couldn't catch them. The only one that could catch them was Sam, a 10-year-old boy who was so lickety-split fast. It bugged me. I taught the group last night, new research about sleep. If you get enough sleep, your brain problem solves all night long. I must have gotten enough sleep that night. I woke up knowing how to catch greenies. I went out, caught 10 greenies, went to the dock to sell them. Nobody had greenies, not even Sam. I learned 2 things. 1, don't do that in front of boys. Sam never talked to me. That was a bad learning experience on my part, and I've gotten over it. But the second part I learned was, if I could catch greenies as a 5-year-old girl, I wonder what else I could do. Competence, even if it's about something that doesn't seem to be important, like catching frogs, competence generalizes. You need to help girls find some area of competence during your tenure with them. So your job, to end this, you only have 3 things to do in your tenure with a girl, whatever that is, as a mother, as an aunt, as a teacher, as a Girl Scout leader. You only have 3 things to do. We've learned in the field of psychology, if you keep things to 3, no more than that, people tend to retain them and actually learn from them. You never go to 4. So I've distilled it down to 3. 3 things you have to do before a girl leaves you. Make sure she has stretched her rubber bands, especially the small ones, because she has a short period of time to get the best bang out of the buck there. The big ones will grow on their own. I hate to say this to you. If you say to me, my daughter is a great mathematician, I want her to take more blah, 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 or no, I want her to take more math, I'm going to say to you, no, I don't want her to take more math. I want her to take what it is that she's not good at. This goes totally against letter grades, by the way, which I talk to schools about. So make sure she has stretched her rubber bands, especially the ones that aren't going to hold her in good stead as she gets older. Make sure she has hugged some meaningful monsters during her tenure with you. It will change her. And make sure she has at least 1 more green frog, metaphorically, than when she first came into your milieu. These are the only 3 things that you have to do. Girl Scouts does all 3. Look at you. You hold the future of women and our country in your hands. Not just Western Pennsylvania. These girls are going to leave. They're going to hopefully move to Ohio, where I live. You are sculptors of human brains. Everybody you touch, even today at our table. Even what you're doing here and the networking. But with the plastic brains, the birth to 20, you're really having an impact.